Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into a topic that might seem, just about beauty on the surface. But our sources show there's so much more. We're talking about the surprisingly profound world of flowers. Our mission today, go way beyond just how they look. We want to unpack their hidden language, celebrate some, unexpected roles they play, and explore the bold statements flowers have made across history, culture, even social movements.
Absolutely. And this deep dive, it really draws from, a really rich stack of sources. We're looking at everything from ancient traditions, modern trends, right up to major social shifts. What's truly fascinating, I think, is how consistently they all show that flowers aren't just pretty decorations. They're incredibly potent symbols woven deep into, human experience.
I couldn't agree more. Now, when you think flower festivals, your mind probably jumps straight to, say, the Netherlands or Japan, and yeah, for good reason. But our sources point to a whole world of lesser-known festivals out there, ones that offer a really unique kind of cultural immersion. So what are some of those hidden gems? What makes them so special?
You're right, there's a real treasure trove. Take the Madeira Flower Festival in Portugal. Have you heard of that one?
Madeira. I know the name, but not the festival specifically.
Well, every spring, it literally transforms the island into this floating garden. It's amazing. And beyond the big allegorical parade, dancers covered in flowers, there's this really poignant wall of hope. Children contribute flowers, and it symbolizes peace, harmony. It's a, powerful example of how a community can use flowers to express these really deep collective hopes.
That sounds beautiful. Really, it's less about just the show and more about a shared feeling, a shared moment.
Exactly. Then you've got, say, the Chiang Mai Flower Festival in Thailand. That's in February. And this isn't just, visually stunning. It's a vibrant showcase of Thai culture, Thai craftsmanship. You see these incredibly elaborate floral floats. They feature iconic Thai flowers, orchids, chrysanthemums, roses, and it connects really deeply to the region's farming roots. It highlights Chiang Mai's role as a major floral export hub. So flowers aren't just cultural symbols there. They're vital economically, too.
That's a side many people probably don't even think about. What about something maybe a bit more energetic? High energy.
Okay, for something uniquely interactive, you have to look at the Batalla de Flores, the flower battle in Laredo, Spain.
A flower battle.
Seriously?
Yeah. Every August, they have this parade, amazing floats made entirely of flowers. But the twist is, at the end, there's this huge friendly flower battle. People just start throwing petals everywhere into the crowd. It's this wonderful mix of artistry and just pure community joy.
Yeah.
You probably need a good comb afterwards, though.
I could imagine. A flower battle, that's incredible. Is that kind of blend, the artistry and the fun, is that typically Spanish or is it really unique to Laredo? It's pretty unique in how interactive it is, yeah. But it definitely taps into that broader Spanish love for, big communal celebrations and expressing art out in public. And maybe for something more contemporary, perhaps more eco-conscious, there's the Caracas Flower Festival in Venezuela. It's relatively new, happens in November. It celebrates Venezuela's amazing biodiversity, its native tropical flowers, and it's more than just a display. It's really a platform for education, teaching people about protecting local ecosystems. So great for eco-conscious travelers.
Okay, so it's a celebration, but with a clear mission behind it.
Precisely. And look, while the Netherlands isn't exactly unexpected for flowers, right? The Bloem en Corso in Zundert really deserves a mention because unlike other Dutch festivals focusing on tulips, Zundert is all about dahlias, specifically dahlias, and the floats are just massive, towering structures. There's this fierce competition between neighborhoods to create the most awe-inspiring designs. It's quite something, a real testament to local pride and dedication.
Yeah, it's clear then. These festivals are so much more than just, pretty displays. They're a real deep dive into local culture, local traditions. It gives you so much more than a typical tourist stop. Really shows how deeply flowers are part of our human story.
Definitely. And moving from those big, vibrant celebrations, let's maybe explore the deeper meanings, the often hidden symbolism that flowers carry. Which brings us to florography, the language of flowers. This was this incredibly nuanced way to communicate, especially popular back in the Victorian era. The type of flower, its color, size, how it was arranged, even how you presented it, it could all encode specific intentions. Roses for love, tulips for passion, wallflowers meant faithfulness.
Wow, like a secret code.
Exactly. And there's also this long-standing connection, this association between women and flowers. Historically, flowers were often a tool for men to communicate affection. kind of stemming from perceived similarities in beauty, delicacy. There's a great quote by journalist Tara Guillemets. She says, "A flower's appeal is in its contradictions, so delicate in form yet strong in fragrance, so small in size yet big in beauty, so short in life yet long on effect."
That's a fantastic quote, and it's fascinating how understanding that connection, it requires a bit of a critical eye, doesn't it? You have to acknowledge how it could reinforce power dynamics, but maybe also be used to subvert them too. A simple gift carrying so much potential weight.
Absolutely. And this kind of symbolism, it's truly global. It pops up everywhere. In China, for instance, the peony is the king of flowers, symbolizes wealth, honor. The lotus represents purity, enlightenment. In Japan, you have the iconic cherry blossoms, sakura, symbolizing life's transient nature, and the art of ikebana, emphasizing harmony, balance, and arrangement. But there are less common Japanese meanings too. The hydrangea can mean inconstancy. The chrysanthemum is the emperor's emblem, longevity. Sunflowers, surprisingly, are really positive. They were even used after the Fukushima disaster, believe it or not, to help pull toxins from the soil. Then there's the higanbana, the red spider lily, quite melancholy, tied to ancestors, the cycle of life and death. And oxalis, used protectively in samurai family crests, kamans.
That's just an incredible range of meanings all within one country. What about other places around the world?
Well, in India, you see marigolds everywhere in Hindu rituals for auspiciousness, and the lotus, again, divine beauty. In the UK, the red poppy is incredibly powerful, symbolizing remembrance, especially after the world wars. And the red rose, of course, a national symbol of love. Mexico uses marigold cempasúchil during Dia de los Muertos to guide spirits. Ancient Egypt revered the lotus, too, as a symbol of creation, rebirth. And in South Africa, the protea stands for beauty and resilience. It's their national flower.
It's also striking how some colors seem almost universal, isn't it? Red for passion, yellow for joy, white for purity, pink maybe for warmth or affection. So it's clear these simple blooms, they carry enormous weight across the globe, a really rich tapestry of meaning. Okay, so we've talked about how flowers speak this, silent language. But what happens when that symbolism just explodes onto the public stage, becomes a real force in social, even political movements?
Right, that's where flowers really go beyond just passive symbols. Let's talk about the flower power movement. Late 60s, early 70s. The term itself, actually coined by the beat poet Allen Ginsberg, 1965, Berkeley, California. He saw it as a symbol of passive resistance, nonviolence, particularly against the Vietnam War. Ginsberg literally encouraged protesters to offer masses of flowers to police, to soldiers. The idea was to transform protests into this kind of peaceful street theater, dial down the fear and anger.
And it really caught on, didn't it? I remember reading about Abby Hoffman organizing the Flower Brigade in New York. Participants carrying flowers, love posters, sometimes they faced attacks, violence. Hoffman famously declared, "The cry of flower power echoes through the land, we shall not wilt." But the most iconic moment surely has to be the March on the Pentagon, October 67. Demonstrators placing flowers right into the barrels of soldiers' rifles.
Yeah, those images are unforgettable. They created such a lasting visual impact. Immortalized in those iconic photos, you think of Mark Rude's picture, the young woman Jeanne Rose Casimir holding a chrysanthemum, facing soldiers with bayonets, or Bernie Boston's photo, the one nominated for a Pulitzer, showing flowers being put into the rifle barrels. Those images just define the movement's nonviolent stance globally.
And the cultural heart of it all was really San Francisco, wasn't it? Haight-Ashbury. Popular music became crucial too, like the Beatles' All You Need Is Love, basically an anthems spreading that pacifist message.
Yeah.
And the art, that psychedelic style, Milton Glaser, Peter Max, it became synonymous with the whole era, but like all movements, it shifted, it evolved. What actually happened as it moved into the early 70s? Did it just fade away?
Well, the decline of flower power, it's actually quite nuanced when you look at the sources. It wasn't just one thing. Some argue it was simply the end of the Vietnam War, the end of the draft. The main catalyst was gone. Others point to internal critiques, people like George Harrison becoming disillusioned, feeling it sometimes became just a cover for drug use in places like Haight-Ashbury. And then there were really negative events. The deaths at the Altamont concert, the Manson murders, those definitely tarnished the public image of the whole counterculture. Plus, you had rising commercialism in music, maybe shifting focus away from the earlier artistic ideals. But importantly, many sources suggest it didn't just collapse, it evolved. Its core principles, some of them anyway, carried on in different forms, maybe influencing later things like punk, or even filtering into the ethos of modern festivals.
That's a really important point, evolution rather than just stopping cold. And connecting that idea, flowers as symbols of strength. It's fascinating to link it to how feminism deliberately reclaimed floral symbolism. Roses, for example. Traditionally about love, yes. but also embodying strength, even revolution. How did that happen? Delicate petals, sharp thorns. It became a metaphor.
Exactly. That duality perfectly mirrored the kind of strength and vulnerability women often had to navigate, especially within patriarchal structures. You see it pop up in the women's suffrage movement, even in literature like William Blake's poem, The Sick Rose. It captures that complex mix. And then you have sunflowers. Within feminist symbolism, they often represent hope, optimism, that idea of encouraging women to turn towards the sun, towards brighter futures, equality. It really embodies the movement's persistent optimism.
So we've gone from silent language to social change, but beyond symbolism and politics, there's this whole world where flowers are just pure artistry. From cutting-edge modern design to ancient practices that still resonate, what's blooming, so to speak, in floral design for 2025?
Oh, floral design is really buzzing right now. For 2025, yeah, we're seeing some really exciting shifts. Definitely a strong move towards bold colors, unusual pairings, moving away from those muted, safe palettes towards electric blues, neon pinks, fiery oranges. It's not just about the look. It feels like a desire for more expressive, maybe uninhibited designs. You see experimental combos like tropical anthuriums next to classic garden roses.
Wow, make it a statement then. What about the environmental side? Is that having an impact?
Oh, hugely. Sustainability isn't just a trend anymore. It's pretty much baseline, a fundamental expectation. So designers are really prioritizing foam-free mechanics, using things like chicken wire, pin holders instead of that green floral foam, plus sorting locally grown blooms using reusable containers, compostable packaging. It's all about creating beauty, but responsibly. And speaking of lasting beauty, dried and preserved flowers, still incredibly popular. They last longer, reduce waste, and they're super versatile in designs, mixing them with fresh.
That makes a lot of sense. What other sort of design ideas are taking hold?
Texture is big. Textural floral design, layering different materials, think pampas grass, seed pods, interesting foliage, adds so much depth, movement. And biophilic design is really gaining traction too. That's integrating lush botanical installations, green walls, into places like offices, wellness centers. It's not just decoration. The idea is to connect people with nature, boost well-being, maybe even productivity. Then, kind of on the other end of the spectrum, you have minimalist floral design, still very popular. Heavily influenced by Ikebana, the Japanese art, focuses on maybe just a single perfect stem, monochromatic colors, really thoughtful use of negative space. And for weddings, specifically in 2025, couples seem to be looking for authenticity, so more garden-style bouquets, maybe less formal, using non-traditional flowers like protea or succulents, even wearable flowers like accessories, making them really personal.
You mentioned Ikebana, the Japanese art, but our sources also brought up another really fascinating Japanese style, Hanedome. How does that fit in? How's it different?
Hanedome. Yes, it's quite unique. It's a design-based approach, very focused on principles like balance, rhythm, harmony. But what really sets it apart, fundamentally, is that Hanedome keeps flowers supporting each other without using any tools. No floral foam, no kenzan, those spiky frog things. It's all about using the natural structure and tension of the stems themselves to hold the arrangement together.
That sounds incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But also very elegant, very natural.
It is. And a really vital part of Hanedome is the role of trees, or branches really, as lines. This reflects Japan's deep cultural connection with nature, that idea of coexistence. Lines straight, curved, diagonal, they're fundamental in a lot of Japanese art, right? Think ukiyo woodblock prints, hokusai, hiroshige. And in Hanedome, lines convey emotion. A vertical line might suggest dignity. Horizontal, maybe rest. A zigzag line could express excitement or energy. It's this profound link between natural form and human feeling.
It's quite remarkable how Hanedome, with these deep traditional roots, this profound philosophy, it's still presented as a global arrangement for people to enjoy anytime and anywhere.
Yeah.
Draws this beautiful line from ancient thought right through to modern design.
Exactly. And if we kind of tie this all together, connect it back to the bigger picture, what we've really seen today is how flowers, they're not just these fleeting beauties, are they? They're active participants in human history, human expression, from joyful festivals to really deep social statements. They're more than just pretty, they're potent.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Perhaps it's just a powerful reminder that even the most delicate things in nature can carry the heaviest, most complex messages. Maybe it prompts us to look a bit closer next time. Consider the nuanced power hidden right there in plain sight. Next time you see a flower, what new story, what hidden meaning might you uncover?